Good morning. You're listening to WIFO FM in Jessup, 105.5 FM, 2 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Thursday morning, October 28th. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, Murphy Builder Supply, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, and First Southern Bank.
Most people understand the need for life insurance, but not many want to talk about why it's essential to your financial plan. It may seem intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Don't get overwhelmed. Get started with Country Financial. Call me, Sean O'Quinn, today at 588-1051 and let me work with you to find life insurance that gives you the protection you need at a price you can afford.
Life insurance policies issued by Country Life Insurance Company and Country Investors Life Assurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
Hi, I'm Raymond Brown.
And I'm Mandy Yeomans. At First Southern Bank, our customers are like family. As a locally owned community bank, we're dedicated to helping our clients succeed.
We have loans for every need, whether it's personal or business. We have lines of credit, auto loans, equipment loans, and of course, we offer mortgages. Stop by our bank or call us at 912-588-1010 and see how First Southern Bank can help you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. Good morning, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I've been dying since Tuesday to ask this question. Ralph, are you voting for Tyrone Johnson?
Bob, I think he just run out of things to say because you know I'm not going to vote for Tyrone. Well, I'm voting for who I think is the best candidate for the job.
First of all, let's set the stage here, folks. Say who's our guest in this morning. What's going on, Bob?
In the studio is candidate for Mayor Ralph Hickox, and we had his opponent, Tyrone Johnson, on Tuesday. And at the end of the show, he was emphatic that Ralph was going to vote for him. So I've been dying since then to ask Ralph, are you going to vote for Tyrone? Because he says for sure you're voting for him.
No, sir, Bob. I think he just run out of things to say in that tirade he had that day. I'm going to be voting for me. I've been here for 36 years, and I think that I'm the best candidate. Y'all watched me do what I do in downtown, and that's what I'll continue to do. And I'm going to vote for Ralph Hickox, and I'm going to ask you to do the same thing.
Well, my biggest concern watching this early voting is the small amount of people voting. And we've got close to 5,000 registered voters in Jessup. We're less than 1,000 people 3 weeks in. I mean, unless it really picks up today and tomorrow and Tuesday, I mean, less than half the people are going to decide this mayor's race, which is sad. Why aren't people out voting?
Apathy, I think. They just assume the candidate they want is going to win. And that's not going to happen. If they don't go out and vote, you may wake up on November 3rd with buyer's remorse. You might find you get the one that you didn't want. So I came on here. My main goal coming on here this morning was to leave the message of please go vote. There's 5,300 registered voters in the city of Jessup. 1,000 are inactive. There's 4,300 voters. That's Democrat, Republican, nonpartisan, and ones that are non-declared at all. It would be my wish and my desire that all 4,300 go. Because if all 4,300 people go and vote, we can rest assured on November 3rd that when we wake up that we're going to get who the people want. And I can live with that. My greatest fear is not losing. I got a lot of jobs already, so I don't have to be mayor of Jessup, Georgia. But it's very important. I'm very tied at the hip with Jessup. As Jessup goes, so do I. If Jessup falls, I will. I'm extremely invested in downtown and Jessup in general. If Jessup falls, I'm going to fall. If it prospers, I'm going to prosper. So I'm very concerned about this race. I just want the people to go out. If they go out and they choose what they want, I can live with that. I can't live with if they don't go and they wake up with buyer's remorse on November the 3rd.
I'm curious. You've been out campaigning. I know you've been going door to door. What's on the minds of the voters? And are they asking for anything particular? Are they concerned about anything particular? What do you hear from the voters when you talk to them?
They want to see peace with the city.
What's that?
They want to see peace with the city. That's one thing. The city's gone through a pretty hard year. I remember as a board member with the county commission, there was times I was plumb jealous of the city because they were getting something done. They were doing the Cracker Williams, and they had all these projects like the parks over there by 5 Points, and they just seemed like they always had something going positive. The leadership all the way through, they were doing good. And then they had this big tear for last year that started with the police department. It was something that none of the board members had control of. They didn't facilitate. They didn't start that. And it tore them apart. And the people want to see the cohesion back in the board. And that would be my number one goal, would be to try to make sure, one, I'm not going to get into alliances at all, zero. There's 6 people representing 6 sections of Jessup, and they each one need to be heard. I've known you for a long time, Bob, and I coached ball at rec level at Bill Morris Park. You watched my son pitch on Wayne County Field, and as coach, you get out there and you're hitting to these kids, and you've always got these couple special kids that could really hit well or really catch well, and part of you want just to hit to just that one kid, and because you enjoy watching him throw over and he does real good. But the truth is, you're never any better than the weakest player on your team. And what I always did when I had my teams is I focused on that little kid that couldn't catch, the one that couldn't hit. I would focus because I will promise you, anytime if you come up that championship game, you know who's coming to bat? It's going to be that little kid right there. When the ball gets hit to in a critical part in the game, it's going to that kid that you hadn't worked with. So I see Jessup the same way. We can't ignore any part of Jessup. We have to. We're no stronger than the weakest part of Jessup, and I have a plan. I might not be the smoothest talking person, Bob. You know me, but I tell you what I do. I do have a plan, and I am I'm a person of action. You've watched me. I'll dream something. I do it. You can go downtown and see where I said crazy dream. Who can take a downtown theater, a closed down, there was no even a presence of that, and make that happen? I dreamed that, I seen it in my mind, and I did it. I can see Jessup going to another level. I can see the parts of Jessup that right now are not as nice. I can see ways in which we can improve that. I want that opportunity. I don't need another job, but I feel like there's opportunity, and I think I'm the person that can do that.
Let's go back to Tuesday. So we had Tyrone Johnson, your opponent, here. The criticism he kept harping on. You're a divider, not a uniter. That you're part of the county commission board with all the 3-2 votes. So how do you get over that, or how do you explain that?
It's easy. Listen, when I was with the county commission, I voted for what I felt like the people wanted me to do. They elected me for a reason. When I went to run for mayor, the first thing I did was I called Ed Jeffers. Can you work with me? If I'm mayor, I want to work with you. He says he can, and I can certainly work with him because it's better. It's for the betterment of the county. It's for the betterment of the city. I called Herschel Hires and did the same. He replied the same. He could work with me because when it comes down to the day, it's about the people of Jessup. It's about the people of Wayne County.
What about Boot? Because Boot's out campaigning for your opponent hard.
You know what? I don't hold vendetta with nobody. I can work with Boot if Boot can work with me. I have no problem with that. But, I don't think people elect sheep, Bob. I don't think they elect somebody just to go along to get along. I think they hope that the person they elect represents them. They represent their core values. Now, if representing your core value, because you've been my constituent, if representing your core value means I'm at the bottom side of a 4-1 or a 3-2, on the one top or bottom side of that, or a 5-0, I would hope that you would expect me as your representative to answer for your values and not just go along. Last night I was watching. I love to watch the History Channel. I'm watching the History Channel, and it was about the gliders of World War II. And Andy Rooney was, he's a journalist, and he was on there, and he was talking about he was an unwilling participant in World War II. That he was a liberal, and that in college he felt like that the war was possibly over propaganda. And it weren't until the end of the war that Andy Rooney realized that the atrocities, and realized that it was the right thing. He said before that his belief was that the only good war was no war. But he realized after that sometimes good people have to take a stand. Just going along is not the right thing. And back to that, I felt like every decision I made with the county commission, I made every one of them what I felt like was best for Bob Morgan, because he was my constituent, and the rest of the 5,000 people that I represent. But not just them, the people entirely of Wayne County. I don't take my money personally lightly. I didn't take yours lightly. I spent many hours combing through books trying to make sure that your money was handled wisely. It may have put me on the bottom side of the 3-2, but I would hope that that's what you expected out of me. And going forward with the city, I'm going to do my very best to always work with unity. I'm going to try my hardest to work with the commission, with the school board, and everybody else. But at no circumstance am I going to cave in on my morals or my standards. I think the people expect to elect a leader and not a sheep.
Well, I've known each other. Like I said, we've known each other for a long time. What I appreciate about you, you've always been able to come on the show. You've never turned down an invitation. And I said we may agree to disagree, but you've always come and given your stance and your opinion. You're not, which I appreciate that. Like I said, we wish all other politicians would take the invitation, because as Butch and I talk to all the time, that's what this format's about. Anybody who's in politics who wants to come and be on the show can come be on the show. But I've got a lot of city and county commissioners who just won't come. So I appreciate you being here. But the one issue the city's facing is the full-time city manager. For weeks, they stated that decision was going to be made before the election. In fact, they said Monday, November 1st was going to be the day they were going to announce who the full-time city manager. One time they said they were finalists, and Rose says she's a finalist. So I was curious who the second finalist was. And when I called a commission, they told me that there was no other second finalist, that everybody dropped out. And they did a 180 on that. The next day, the same commissioner I talked to called and said, well, apparently he misspoke, because he's getting information that there is other candidates. So he said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'm just going to wait till Friday, another call meeting Friday. So I went to the meeting on Friday, and Nick Harris comes out after about an hour behind closed doors and says that there's no decision going to be made, and the announcement's not going to be made now until after the city election. And all the candidates who applied for the job, which were 4, are all viable candidates. But the word that I've gotten from my sources is they're deadlocked. They got a 2-2-1 vote, so no one's got a majority vote, so they got to wait for a mayor to come make the decision. So just want to ask you where you stand on the full-time decision. I asked Tyrone, your opponent, isn't it about getting the most qualified candidate? He said they already got the most qualified candidate. So I'm asking you, is it about getting the most qualified candidate, or is it just about giving it to somebody who's been there?
No pressure, right, Bob? Well, listen, I think it's irresponsible for any mayoral candidate to come on the air anywhere and and chime in just for a vote and name a name when we've neither one been privy to behind an executive session. We've neither one seen all the applicants. We've not seen the process. We don't know all that. I have not seen Miss Rose's or any of the other ones' applications. So to come on here and chime in just so I can get a vote from somebody, I think it's irresponsible. This is a very important position. It's the person who leads the city on a day-to-day basis. It's the person who can bankrupt your budget. It's the person who can cost you a lot of money if they're not doing personnel policy correctly. So this is a very critical position. And here's where I'm at on it. Okay, if I'm fortunate enough that the city of Jessup elects me as their mayor next Tuesday, I'm going to take that very serious. But there's a process in which I'm going to have to do if it's thrust upon me to make that decision because it's a tie, as you say. It appears the case. That really concerns me, first of all, that it's a tie, because that means you still have a very torn board, and that burdens my heart very much to know that this once board that was working so good together now is torn like that. So my first thing that I have to do before I do anything is I have to approach all 6 all 6 commissioners. Each one of those commissioners represent a portion of Jessup, and they deserve to be heard. So not talk, I need to go listen to each one, because there's a reason why they feel the way. There's a reason why they're split. There's a reason why they're torn. And before I go any further, I need to hear from each one of the 6 commissioners. I need to hear them and see why they feel the way they feel, and listen to them. My second thing is I got to talk to the candidates. I've hired a lot of people in my life. At any given time, our companies have anywhere from, from 30 to probably 60 employees. And so I've hired a lot of people. I've had to dismiss quite a few. And you can't hire somebody without knowing a little bit about them. I've got to know their background, their qualifications, why we should pick them. So I'm going to want to re-interview each one of them before all four of the finalists. And the third thing is the city paid for a selection committee, a professional committee that's what they do for a living, is sort out things like that and make those type of decisions. And they rated them for candidates. I want to talk to them and find out why they rated them 1 through 4. What was their criteria and why there's 3 things there. One is I got to hear from the board of commissioners and know why this board is torn right now. And I got to weigh on that. And the second thing is I need to talk to the candidates. But finally, I need to also talk to the selection committee and see why they rated them that way. And then I'm going to pray about it. And I can promise you this. What you said, what am I going to decide? I'm not going to use any bias whatsoever. It's about what's best for the city of Jessup. I promise the city of Jessup, I will select what I think is the best. If I'm thrust with that tiebreak, I will pick who I think is the best person to lead Jessup forward as the city manager, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender, regardless of anything. It's going to be the best candidate that can lead it.
The major problem I got right now, the process is, like I said, if it's down to 4 finalists, why can't they give the 4 names? They're saying they can get, if it gets down to 3, you have to give the 3, but since it's 4, you don't have to give the 4, which is, I think, just total garbage. I mean, they talk about being transparent. If there are 4 finalists, why can't we know who the 4 finalists are? They keep saying, well, they want to protect the job they're at. Well, yeah. I say it all the time. If you want the job, say you want the job. If you want the city of Jessup full-time city manager job, I don't care where you're at. You tell those people you want that job.
Yeah, but let's be realistic, Bob. Let's say today that you applied for a big radio station up in Atlanta, and Butch over there found out about it. You know, he might start having to hunt for another guy to do his sports and all. So I mean, you got to understand these people have jobs where they're at, and so for them to release their name and not be a serious candidate yet,
if they're a finalist, they should be. You know,
they may not get the job.
It makes no sense. If it's 3, you got to give the names. If it's 4, you don't. Come on.
Well, honestly, I don't even agree with
what kind of garbage rule
is
that? I
hear you, but I don't even agree on the 3 thing. I think that until you pick the candidate,
people should know who the 4 finalists are. Let's see who they are.
I would like to see that, but at the same time, I do respect the fact they got
I just don't understand.
The
if it's 3, they got to know. You got to release it. If
I don't understand
4,
3 or 4 either.
I mean,
but
that doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what I've been told.
I don't understand the 3 or 4 part either. But
they said they're going to be transparent.
The
they said the one city meeting they were going to get to the finalists and tell who the finalists were. And like I said, when Rose texted me she's a finalist, my question was, who's the other finalist? Because apparently they got it down to 2, but apparently now they're saying they don't. But one commissioner said they only got 1 finalist.
Well, again, where I'm at is
so now it's just all up in the air. Where are we at? What are we doing? The city just looks, to me, they look bad.
Well, again, I've not been a part of the process. So all I can tell you is if I'm elected mayor next Tuesday, like I told you, my process first.
Let me ask you this: if you get elected mayor, you're going to get sworn in, right? Because they need a mayor. But the other people who run that may win a council seat, they have to wait till January.
Yes.
So you're going to wait till January to make the decision on city manager? Because say the council changes, which it could very well change with 3 contested council races. You're definitely going to have 1 new council member in District 3 because Nick Harris isn't running. It's either Tim Cofford or Stephanie Williams is definitely going to be a new commissioner. You could have 3 possible new commissioners and a whole new board. So if you get elected mayor, would you wait till the new council is sworn in before you make that decision?
No. I would only wait long enough to. Like I told you, what my process would be if it's thrust on me. I can't promise you that decision that I would want to make it Thursday. It depends on how long it takes me to talk to all 6 of the commissioners. How long it takes me to go talk to the candidates and to the selection committee. I wouldn't think it, but it wouldn't be till the first of the year. But it might take more than 1 day. But I'm going to do that, and then at that point, no, I don't see waiting. I think we've waited long enough.
Well, you're in here to talk about your campaign, so I just want to give you time to talk about your campaign. When you're out there talking, what are you telling the people? If you get elected mayor, what's Ralph Hickok's going to do as mayor? What would you like to see done for the city? You said you have some ideas as things that need to be improved. What are some of those things? I'm going to
continue to do the same things basically I've been doing already. Just for the city of Jessup. You know, everybody knows I'm very aggressive with economic development in Wayne County. First of all, not just in downtown. You know, we're very active in real estate. We're very active in the drive-in. I got the Strand. I got the Bistro downtown. It's lively downtown. But specifically some other things is like we have a federal opportunity zone that some people don't even know. It hasn't even been used yet. It's it goes from the hill all the way out to the past the prison and from the railroad track all the way over to Highway 301. It's a federal opportunity zone. It's a capital gains shelter. It would be a mechanism in which we could take and fix up blighted properties. People can get, I don't believe in taking out of your pocket to do stuff. I believe in private-public investment. I believe if you create incentives for companies and people, they'll invest in the community. And just like over in Hinesville, the Chick-fil-A area over there, that was a private-public investment over there, where you had the city government with the economic development with two private investors. They worked together. They built that, and it was a benefit to the whole county and to the city over there. I believe in private-public investment, and we have that particular opportunity zone, which could be used to fix blight homes. And I'm not just saying that, I'm doing that. Right now, as we're on the radio, if you go in front of the police station in Plum Street over there in Cypress, you'll see 2 homes that were vacant, off the tax roll. They were a blight to the neighborhood that I've got a crew in there right now working on. And we're going to turn and put them back on the market. I've got 4 other properties under contract right now that are the same type houses. So whether I win, the thing is, I'm asking you to vote for me as mayor. But whether you vote me as mayor or not, I'm going to continue to do what I do because that's who I am. That's my personality. I have a love for the city, and I want to do that for the city. I want to do that more. And I think the platform may give me the ability to do that, but I'm doing it already. And the other opportunity zone is the rural opportunity zone. That's the one that's in downtown. Now, I know it'll be challenging, but I'd like to see that expanded over to Pine Street, because I believe you could take that entryway into Jessup and you could improve it and then make it not so much of an eyesore. And the way you do it is you have them incentives for businesses to relocate there and to make it look nice. So you got a couple things there that I'm very interested in. Economic development obviously is always a key. Improving services with the city, continue to improve services. We have to look at the pay structure of a lot of our city employees. The economy is moving so fast. When the gas prices nearly double in 9 months, everything goes up. So it don't take long before your employees are actually below poverty on that. So we're going to have to really follow that.
Well, this doesn't have anything to do with your campaign, but your businesses are nearby the old chamber. Who cut down the Christmas tree?
It was the Grinch.
I mean, really, they couldn't leave it out till after Christmas.
I told you it was a grant. I don't know. I understand Miss Sybil.
I was shocked. I drove by and said, "Where'd my Christmas tree go?"
No, Molly.
How are we going to do the lighting of the tree?
It's a pocket park. I think I seen Molly said, the DDA director, and Miss Sybil was Miss Sybil who that was considered her tree. She was very involved with it, and it's going to be a nice park for people to go and enjoy. It's right there in downtown with a little shelter, and I seen a rendition of it last night. It's going to be nice. Yeah, I know everybody. The tree's been there for a long time, but just so y'all feel good about it, Miss Sybil Lynn did put her stamp on it. That's what I understand.
Was the tree dying, or why did they cut it down?
It's dead now.
I know it's dead. I was just saying, why? We're so close to Christmas. What happened to the lighting of the tree? Wait till after January.
It's a pocket park, Bob, so people can get out and enjoy themselves.
The Grinch that stole Christmas from Jessup.
Grinch, yes.
Again, if you tune in, Ralph Hickok said, anything else you want to say? You got this report here.
Yes.
Big issue about that. What's that about?
Well, on Tuesday, my opponent was on here, and I think y'all had a considerable part of the first of it about his background and about suing people and all this. But, I do agree that nobody should slander. Nobody should accuse anybody. But I also honestly believe that the city of Jessup, the citizens, when I put myself up to ask you to be the mayor of the city of Jessup, I think that you got a right to know a little bit about me, because I'm asking you to let me represent you, to include my background in criminal. And so that shouldn't be a non-issue. It really should be. Whether I have a background or not should be a non-issue. So I took the first step between the two of us candidates, and I went and got this is a certified copy of my background from the Sheriff's Department. Now, Mr. Johnson, today the Sheriff's Department's open, and you can go down there and you can pull your certified copy, and I'm going to encourage you to do what I've just done. This is a copy I'm giving to the media right now of my certified background. And I think, Bob, you can look at it. It's clear. There's nothing absolute on it. Please bring yours. Give it to them. And this should be a non-issue. So that's not an accusation in no kind of way. But we need to move past that on issues and not on people questioning that. So I've done my part. I've put mine, do yours, and let's talk about issues such as economic development, such as jobs, such as what we're going to do for the community to grow Jessup. Again, I'm knee deep to my ears involved with Jessup. I'm invested in Jessup. And if Jessup falls, I fall. If it succeeds, I succeed. So I'm asking you, Jessup, to the 4,300 of y'all registered, please go vote. Let your voice be heard. If you don't vote, then you're going to wake up on November 3rd. One way or the other, you're going to wake up with honestly, if you listen on Tuesday, he sounds like an angry man. You're going to either wind up with Mr. Johnson or me. That's your choices. And I'm asking you to do your research on the both of us. Look at what I've done downtown. Look at my involvement into the community. Look at what he's done, and make your decision. But please, no matter what, whether you vote for me or whether you vote against me, please go vote. Because at the end of the day, I will be perfectly satisfied if 4,300 people make that decision. I can live with whatever you want.
Well, I assume, you know what they say about assume, and I learn something new every day. But I just assume that anybody who went and qualified for any political office had to do a background check. But talking to Tammy, the only office that is required is if you run for sheriff. So I was just kind of flabbergasted. I thought for sure that if you ran for political office, they would do a criminal background check to make sure you had no criminal record. But apparently that's not the case. So I learned something new this week. But
no, all we had to do is have $3 to driver's license and fog a beer.
Like I said, somebody dropped that folder to me. Like I said, there's when you look at it, you really can't tell what it is. But he was very adamant that there's nothing to that. So,
and there may not be.
But that could clear it up if he went down and did that.
That's just too easy, Bob. I mean, and again, there's no accusation there. That's too easy. Why we shouldn't even be discussing background. If somebody's made that allegation, well, you know what? There's mine. I took the first step. There's mine. Bring his, and let's don't talk about it no more. It's just not necessary. But we have too much going on with Jessup that we need to do to worry about something like that. And I think Bob, you've watched me since I've been here in 1986. You've watched how involved I've been in the community. That's what you can expect out of me, to stay involved, to stay trying to grow our city. I love Jessup, and I'm going to continue to do what I do.
Again, we're getting to the end of the show. We ask people all the time, there's early voting today, early voting Friday, then Tuesday, polls open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if they go in there and there's two candidates for mayor, Ralph Hickox and Tyrone Johnson, why should they vote for Ralph Hickox?
They should vote for me because they know me. I came here in 1986. Again, I coached out there on the ball fields. I coached kids. My son and my daughter have gone through the school here. I've put myself through, come here just a high school education. I don't have these big degrees that he does. I went through Alderman Tech and I've got myself a skill. I got 2 different skills, heating, air, and electrical. And I worked hard to parlay money that I made from working my skill. I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I took that skill and parlayed that money to invest in Jessup. I invested in Jessup with the money, and then I made good decisions. And I took the money I made off that and reinvested in Jessup. I'm asking you to go vote for me. And I'm saying you should choose me because you've watched me be I'm one of you. I came up through you. You've watched me come from zero up to wherever it is I'm at today. And you know who I am. You know what I'll do. I'm predictable. You've watched me with downtown. You've watched me grow. I did for Jessup when I weren't running for an office. I'll do for Jessup when I'm not in office. And that's why you should vote me, because I do care. And I do have a proven track record here in Jessup, not Atlanta, Washington, or wherever, but here. And I think that should be important.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Again, we'll follow the campaign. And like I said, it'll be over on Tuesday night, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much. World famous Butch and Bob show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. Brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates Country Financial. Also brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, and First Southern Bank.